Hey everybody, welcome to a new edition of Box Seats. Today is what, Wednesday? And you know what? We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We definitely have to talk about the NBA playoffs, the major collapse that happened last night and everything else. But the top news, when I woke up this morning, I'm sure when you all woke up this morning, we got to talk about this real fast, real quick, was that the Big Ten came out and they announced today that they are returning to football, college football. We ain't going to talk about this too long. I just want to throw it out there and just say, it looks like that college football is prioritizing money before they are players. Talent, what you think about that?
You hit it right on the nail on the head just now. I can't. I'm like flabbergasted right now. Mm-hmm. I've been talking about this since we started this show that our safety in these kids' lives got to be above the buck.
Right.
They just put a stamp on it, Frank, and said, "Nah. These kids could die. We'll get more kids."
Fig,
I don't like that.
I'm gonna simply say that college athletes matter.
Yes.
They do. I'm like, what the hell? They do. But here's my thing. You know what? I don't like the decision, but here's the thing. They're talking about starting in October, like mid-October.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I don't even think it's gonna happen. I know they plan for it to happen, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
This is what's gonna happen.
We're gonna go into a new wave of the pandemic in about another maybe what we had, like mid-September, right about the end of September, the beginning of October. This thing, because the numbers is already going up. It's on the hush. Ain't nobody talking about it. Ain't nobody making a lot of noise about it. But if you got your ear to the ground, you know, if you got your ear to the street, you can hear it coming. They starting to ramp up. A few kids here and there, a few people here and there. The numbers are starting to go up, but ain't nobody really making a lot of noise about it. It's talking about just a little bit. So by the end of September, the beginning of October, when they're gonna have to come out and let people know, yo, listen, we in trouble again. That's when you realize.
I have to say this. I'll say this. There's so much money involved. I think you're wrong, Fig. I think it's going to start. Now, whether or not it finishes is the question. Okay. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't. Now, if you said it wasn't going to finish, I would say, you know what? I agree with you because it's going to be. You're right. The numbers are going to go up. Flu season's going to kick in. But the major concern is people right now are more concerned with the college football players who are going to make it to the pros and everything else. No one's talking about the college players who are not going to make it to the pros and the repercussions it's going to have 5, 10, 15 years from now for people who are going to get some symptoms and things like that because people don't know. But they're rushing forward to getting, of course, this.
But if you had to put money on it,
yeah,
what would you say then?
I'd stick with what I got. Now let's talk about the NBA playoffs last night. I'm gonna start out with the game I don't want to talk about. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna throw it out to talent first and say it like this: Jason Tatum, he had a great game except for 2 plays. One when he missed the shot to end the game, and of course we're still seeing the dunk, all being replayed and replayed and replayed. And before we talk about the Clippers game, let's talk about the Celtics game like that last night. Did the Celtics let the game slip away, talent, or did Miami just beat them? What do you think?
I don't think they let it slip away. I think, remember we talked about the series. I said that series is going to be a 6-7 game series, a back and forth battle. I think they showed us that in game 1. The fact that it was won in overtime shows us that it was won. I mean, we can't hold accountable every little mistake. There's going to be mistakes. That's a long game. And 4 quarters of play and plus an overtime period, you're going to have the mistakes. But if you look at the end score and you look at it was resulted in the overtime, you got yourself a battle.
Right.
You know, I can't. It's not a game to sit back and go, oh, he messed up and he was garbage, because these guys were battling. Just like he went up with that block, a dunk joint, and it actually got blocked. You ever heard of, oh, good defense, but better shooting? Sometimes better offense beat defense. Sometimes better defense beat out the offense. That particular play, that's what happened. But I'm not pointing no fingers. I enjoyed that game.
Yeah,
I didn't. But that's besides the point.
Well,
because of the end result. 3 points the other way, you're happy today.
Yeah, I'm happy. Coming from a Jets fan, you already know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
What is this show turning into?
But anyway, Fig, let me throw the question to you, except I want to add one caveat. Did Kemba Walker play horribly last night? Or,
listen, here's the thing. I keep going back. First off, I love the game. I keep going back to the point where NBA players have drilled into their mind, you either take a three-pointer or a layup.
Yeah.
Kemba Walker's strong point is his mid-range game. He has the speed and the maneuverability to be able to get by any man guarding him one-on-one. And then instead of taking it to the hole where the defense can stop you, pull up for a 15-footer, 12-footer, 10-footer, because that's your game. You're an undersized point guard that can move and break down the defense. When you get in the paint, pull up for a little 10, 15-foot shot, because that's where you in a position where the guy who's trailing you is either going to bump you and foul you. You're going to hit the shot. You got a potential of getting a three-point play. He keeps trying to go to the hole over these towers, and it's messing up his game. If it's free, go for the layup. If not, pull up for the short jumper. He's like Kawhi. They both got decent mid-range game, which is a throwback to the old NBA. Take your shot, stop shooting threes, stop trying to get layups, get to the paint and take your shot. That's what I say.
Can we take a moment? Can we take a moment to show respect for that word, maneuverability?
Oh yeah, how about that? That's true. But listen, I like the fact that Tatum was like, he has the guts to take that shot at the end of the game.
Yeah,
that's what I like. I like the fact that he's willing to, because there's a lot of players shy away from that moment. A lot of guys don't want the ball in that moment. He's a young player. It's like his second or third year. He's 22 years old. We haven't even seen the best of Tatum yet, and he's willing to take that shot in the playoffs at that moment with the clock running down, the game on the line. I think, like Talon said, I think we're going to see a back and forth battle because they're evenly matched. And for the first game, we got to give it to Django Unchained. They draw first blood.
With that being said, let's move on to the next series. Everybody is talking about the collapse of the Clippers. Everybody's talking about how the Clippers, they came together. They did, just conversation. I mean, honestly, I'm sick and tired of hearing this conversation, to be honest with you. So my question to you, Talent, last night, after you saw the game last night, key point, after you saw the game last night and the Clippers obviously lost that game, should we stop comparing Kawhi to LeBron now?
Should we stop comparing them?
Yeah, because you and I both know everybody's comparing Kawhi to LeBron, Kawhi. You know what I mean? It's all day.
Because there's always this never-ending battle of finding of opinions of who the best in the league and who's the best player. You're always going to have that argument, as you probably should, because this loss here is a series loss, right? It's still a 7-game series loss that. It doesn't take. Only thing it takes from Kawhi is that it was a down moment for him. He didn't show up like he could show up and take over the game and win it. His team lose the series. But haven't they all been there? LeBron didn't make the playoffs last year. LeBron lost. He went to the dance 8 times and only bagged the chick 3 times. You know what I mean? So like we can go on and on and on with all these things. I like it. It was said best of somebody earlier when they said every great player is going to have a down moment or two, but it's how they respond is how we level their greatness out. So that conversation, no, it's not going to go nowhere. It's always going to be, right now to me, you got 4 or 5 guys going to be in that conversation. You got Team Curry, Team Harden. You got Team Durant. You got Team LeBron. You got Team Kawhi. Everybody's going to argue who's the best. And it's always going to come down to the latest one to get the chip. And that ain't Kawhi this year.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So with that being said, Fig, what was your thoughts about the exact same question? Should we stop comparing Kawhi to LeBron, or is it exactly what Talent said?
Well, going back to the Clippers, they are who we thought they were. They're the Clippers, for God's sakes. I mean, listen, I'm not sure who was comparing Kawhi Leonard to LeBron James, but LeBron James is he's a LeBron James is definitely a better offensive player. Kawhi Leonard is a better two-way player. They got outplayed yesterday. And here's the thing. Here's the question I want to throw back to the panel, because I've been thinking about this ever since the game last night. Have we been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and led astray when it comes to Kawhi Leonard? That's what I want to know. And I'm gonna give you a reason why. The first time we saw Kawhi Leonard, he was in San Antonio. He won the MVP for playing decent defense on LeBron. He had Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony. He had a coach, Greg Popovich. That's the first time he got his chip. That's not on Kawhi. The second time we saw Kawhi win, he was in Toronto, and he had those an array of players with Van Vliet and Siakam.
Sabaka.
He had a bunch of players around him, but then they beat Philadelphia with a last-minute shot. The ball bounced around like 1,000 times, went in. Okay, you beat them. But then when you get to the finals, here's where you get a bonus. You lose KD. You lose like the center. The guy who plays center for them is a young guy, and then at the end, you even lose Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
So Kawhi gets the benefit of one of the greatest teams put together in the NBA. Two of the top three get injured, and Toronto wins that series. Have we ever seen Kawhi go up against a team fully loaded with his team and actually win? He got the benefit of 2 championships around other circumstances. Have we been led astray? Have we been led to believe that Kawhi is better than he actually is?
That's not a fair question, because every team that wins a chip, they have other players. LeBron didn't win by himself. Jordan didn't win by himself. A lot of people don't win by themselves. Kawhi ain't gonna win by himself either. So that's not fair.
Name one. Hold on. You sound ludicrous, Big. That's unfair. Name one championship or one champion that's won by themselves. It don't happen. This is basketball.
I'm not talking about winning by yourself.
You are.
That's what you said.
Hold on. Let me say what I'm saying. Let me explain. When we talk about a champion, we're talking about this guy is the best player on his team. It's not like Kawhi didn't have it. Wait a minute. It's not like Kawhi didn't have help yesterday. He had a fully loaded team yesterday.
He's still the best player on his team.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, listen, when LeBron's team lost to
anybody,
Golden State, when they lost to Golden State, they said, wait a minute, LeBron didn't have Kawhi Leonard, and then he didn't have Kevin Love. So then the next year,
Kawhi Leonard never played with LeBron.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. I said LeBron James.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I said I'm trying to say that Kawhi had a team that was fully loaded yesterday, and he's the man on his team, and they lost.
It happens with everybody
on his team. But I'm saying he went up against a fully loaded team yesterday. When I'm saying when a team has all of their players and they go head to head, has Kawhi ever been the man?
You don't make sense.
That's all I'm saying.
No. You don't make sense. There's been times when LeBron went up fully loaded against a fully loaded team. He lost. There's been time when Steph Curry went up against a team fully loaded. They lost. All these teams go up against other teams, fully loaded or not, and they either win or lose. Every champ has done it.
Yeah, Golden State.
What I'm saying, Kawhi has never done it. He's never going up against a team as the man when the other team was fully loaded and won. That's all I'm saying.
Golden State had a fully loaded team and they lost to Cleveland. Except at mine, if
no, they didn't.
Yes, they did. What's his name?
They did not.
Okay, who was it then? You're gonna talk about Draymond Green that getting ejected that game, that one game?
And the fact that Bogut went down in game 5 and so did Iguodala. And we know that Steph Curry wasn't 100% in that series.
Okay.
We know that for a fact.
Okay.
Because he got hurt in the playoffs.
Here's the thing. And this is going to be very vital for you to understand, and I want you to understand this clearly. When Clippers played last night, they had everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
When Denver played, they had everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
Listen to my point. When Kawhi played with San Antonio, they had everybody. When Kawhi got hurt, he got hurt, and he played in that series, they still won. He got hurt in that series, and he came back, and they still won. So that takes your argument. That takes your argument right.
Kawhi wasn't the best player on San Antonio. It was still Tim Duncan's team.
Okay, we're not talking about whose team it was or not. When LeBron
my first question was Kawhi Leonard. Have we been tricked by think that Kawhi Leonard is the man and should be compared to LeBron James?
Now, let me ask you this. Let's move on because I want to
say it again. Say it again. See what happens. Say it again. Yeah, one more time.
Here's my question for you, Talent. Is everybody overlooking the Nuggets? The Nuggets came back 2 times in one playoff series. It's never happened before. They came back from 2 times. As a matter of fact, a couple of Nuggets players have even said it. Everybody keep overlooking us. They came back twice, down 3-1. Never happened. Bird hasn't done it. Jordan never did that. Just go down the list of greatest players. Nobody never did that. Are we overlooking the Nuggets? Talent.
It's the 4th time they've done it in a row.
There you go.
4 times. Let me explain something to you. Self-included, we overlooked them.
Yeah.
Self-included, we overlooked them. And I think it's because of this is where youth comes in. You have these young players that, for whatever reason we normally do, for 9 out of 10 players in the league, we give them this 4 or 5 year threshold for we identify them and say, okay, this guy's a star, this guy's a superstar, this guy's an all-star, whatever we phrase it, we have this 3 to 5 year threshold we normally do. So here goes a team with a bunch of young dudes who haven't passed that threshold that we don't respect, or we haven't respect up until this point. Now they are who we did not know they are. They showed up, showed out. Them young legs. It felt like watching a pickup game in the park in the hood, and the best 5 is out there. You know, they've been out there 3 games in a row, 4 games in a row, and them young dudes come and get win. They finally got their winners. They had winners for 5 games. They finally get on there, and them young dudes blow them older dudes, them vets, off the court. Might not necessarily be better than them, but they're younger, and them fresh legs come in, and where you need breathers, we don't need breathers. If you look at just the cardio in the 4th quarter, you had Clippers looking to the side. When do you see somebody that's getting playing time go, hey, yo?
Mm-hmm.
You have brothers breathing. Need a minute. I want to get it. Let me get a breather. Let me get out.
Yeah.
Them young Denver dudes, the bench is mad they can't get in.
Right.
Because them young dudes don't want to leave the floor. You got a royal young versus old ass whooping last night. And I want to apologize to everybody in the city of Denver, including the Denver Nuggets. I got this one white dude that comes on all my live shows from out there. He's a Denver fan in Colorado Springs. I got to apologize to this man today.
Mm-hmm.
We all blew this.
I understand. Fig, here's a question for you. Looks like Montrezl Harrell is going to be a restricted free agent. It looks like Marcus Morris is going to be restricted free agent. Are we getting ahead of ourselves and assuming that the Clippers are going to be back next year when they have to first, not only do they have to handle the restricted free agents, they have to also handle whether or not they're going to have a coach, because the same coach might not be there. You know, talks is rumbling now that Doc Rivers is not going to be there. You know, we're just assuming because they got Kawhi, and we're assuming they got Paul George, and we're assuming that, okay, they're going to be back there in the exact same place next year. Are we getting ahead of ourselves?
I think so. It's like too much up in the air. Like, I mean, I don't know if Barber want to pay that money, you know, for them extra players and stuff like that, especially from what we just seen with them. I mean, like, I don't know. I think that when the Clippers, what we got caught up into the names, and what we saw was a collection of players, an assembly of players. And what Denver actually has is an actual team with cohesiveness. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So I really don't know what the hell is talented. Yeah, man.
I'm putting this on because I tried to tell y'all before when we first started the show, y'all listen. This is John Starks Foundation logo right here, right? Shout out to them. Here's the thing. Dope. Morris is coming back to the Knicks with AD. Remember I told you AD's coming to the Knicks?
Mm-hmm.
Morris is coming back to re-sign with the Knicks. Same agency, same duo deal. I said that. So really? The Clippers are going to have to figure it out, at least without him. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, man, let me tell you something. I mean, like, I don't know if the Clippers are coming back. We don't know if Doc is going to be there and stuff like that. But you know what? With all of the coaches that have lost before, I'd see Doc get a full season because I don't care what nobody says. I'm definitely not going to put an asterisk on whoever wins the championship. But the fact that we were in a pandemic and they played in a bubble, that makes this whole thing like unprecedented. You know what I mean? Even Paul George was having some mental issues where he said that he checked out and he had to talk to Doc Rivers and stuff like that. Like, this pandemic is really like I think we're minimalizing the effect that this pandemic and the bubble is having on NBA players, and not so much just being away from their family, not so much dealing with the pandemic, but we also have the social justice unrest that's going on. Some players were thinking about they didn't want to go to the bubble. Some players thought about they didn't want to play. So I think there's a lot of parameters that's around this where you know that I think Doc should get another chance.
See, you know what? I think you just brought up a very good point, which is also going to lead into my next question. Is that because of the bubble, because of the pandemic, talent, would it be too far-fetched to say that we could see a Miami Denver Nuggets final? What do you think about that? Because of the pandemic, I mean, everybody's assuming also that the Lakers are going to win. Everybody's assuming, everybody's making assumptions. But
I no. I mean, nothing different is going to happen here. I think the worst of the pandemic, that is the effect that it's had on players, I think at this point they're past that. So people have bought in, they've adjusted, they're ready. I'm not going to put an asterisk by it for the simple fact that once they got going in these playoffs, these playoffs are better than when they wasn't in the bubble. So it'd be an injustice to turn around, it wasn't a real. Kiss my ass. This was as real as it gets. This was as competitive as it gets. Some of these guys played better than they ever played in their career. You understand what I'm saying? I think they've passed all of that holding back and I miss my family and all that. And more importantly, Fig, when it comes to that reasoning, look at what's left. Other than the Lakers, you really got 3 teams left that are young people that ain't got wifey at home and all that. They're super young. Boston, young. The Heat, young. Jimmy Butler's the veteran, and he's what, 28, 24?
No, he's 32. But he's
32. He's the old man. Go.
Yeah.
And then you got Denver Nuggets. Again, young people. The only team with the old veterans is Bron and them. Rondo, LeBron. But I think they're past that anxiety thing. I think everybody's been kind of got their feet under them, and we're seeing great basketball. It's as the last both East and West series have showed us.
Now, before we move on to the NFL, right, I want to be able to ask a couple of other questions. And the questions I want to ask is again, we were talking about restricted free agents yesterday, not unrestricted free agents that can float. And I already told you, Montrezl Harrell is free. And Marcus Morris. Like, those 2 guys are key cogs in the Clippers, and they're floating around. But you know what? There's some other names out here. Paul Millsap for Denver, and he's a key cog in Denver too. Is Denver able to keep him? Or because right now, if it was to stand as today, right now, moving forward, they're going to have to move some money around and make somebody go and everything else to be able to keep him, because what he's doing in the playoffs is unprecedented. And what he's going to happen is he's going to have to get a pay raise. So Paul Millsap stay, Paul Millsap go, talent.
I think this series that we're about to see is going to determine everything. I think if they can get to the chip, Paul Millsap stays. If the Lakers take him out, Paul Millsap goes. He's going to go, like you said, he's going to get a pay raise. He's going to go to a team that he can definitely help that next step to. Because you got to realize, even though we're talking about teams and free agents swapping, teams and seats,
Mm-hmm.
Don't take for granted that the team that loses this guy don't get this great guy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's all. I think musical chairs is going to happen in the offseason. I think people are going to, you know what I mean? I'm going to lose this forward, but hey, there's good forwards available.
Right, exactly.
We're not talking about guys that are the staple of their communities as far as the team goes. We're talking about role players.
Mm-hmm. Right. Fig, what you think? You think Paul Millsap stays or Paul Millsap goes? Because he's going to get a pay raise somewhere.
Man, Paul Millsap to me is a little older.
Mm-hmm.
What is he? Like, he's in his 30s. Like Paul Millsap has been around for a minute. I'm not sure which team. If he does leave, he would have to go to a team that needs what Paul Millsap has to offer in order to be that final piece to the puzzle to get them over the hump to be able to make it to a championship. Because I don't see any young team trying to pick up a Paul Millsap who don't have any aspirations of going to the finals. See, that's the only reason that you pay a veteran top dollar, because you believe that veteran can get you over the hump and possibly help you win a championship. That's why you pay a veteran. Just no young team is going to pay Paul Millsap a boatload of money, knowing his age and knowing that they're not contending for a championship. So I think like if just like we're talking about the Clippers. So just say Montrezl Harrell and Morris leave the Clippers and the Millsap is available. Maybe the Clippers want to pick up a Millsap because that's the piece that they think they need to be able to go to the finals and win it all again, provided that those other pieces stay pat.
Yeah, but here's a question that goes along with that. I think we all assume that every NBA player wants a championship. Mm-hmm. I don't think they all do. I think some just want to make a living. And I also think that the ones who do chase the championship are the ones who are mostly in the limelight, so to speak, because the pressure of the limelight makes you, it's like it's an incomplete mission. If me and Frank keep saying that Millsap is the dope top 10, he's he need a chip. I think that some of these guys read their own press clippings and that becomes that driving force. But I think overall, when you look at the majority of NBA players, I don't think they all chase a chip without that pressure.
See, the thing is, that's a great point, because the majority of them, well, I shouldn't say the majority of them, there's a large portion of them that make the NBA minimum salary. You know what I mean? And after you take out the agent's fees and after you take out all, taxes and all the other stuff, it's not enough for them to live off of for the rest of their lives. You know what I mean? No. There's 15 players. There's 15 players on an NBA roster. Top 2 or 3 on each roster is making millions and millions of dollars. The guy on the tail end, he's not. So that's a great point.
I think he looks at it like a job. This makes all the sense in the world. I think your first goals and aspirations when you come into the league, the best you could wish for is have one of those breakout seasons where you put up enough numbers that a team turns around and go, let's give him $60 million for 3 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Now you've built a cushion. Yeah.
And it's equal out. But let's talk about the NFL now. We got to talk about the NFL. A story right now that's breaking and that people aren't really talking about, that's getting smoothed over, is the wildfires are affecting the West Coast. There are conversations that the New England and Seattle Seahawks game is going to be moved. There's also conversations that the San Francisco 49er game is going to be moved, postponed, maybe delayed, and things like that. If you're the NFL, do you postpone and move the games that are affected by the wildfires, or you just say, let's just find another location somewhere in the West Coast and do the game? Because again, that's more like a safety thing that they're trying to, put forward. Or they're just trying to, let's make that money. Let's get the television contracts. Let's, fulfill what we got. What's your thoughts, Fig?
I think with the big organization that the NFL is, that they don't have to postpone the games. I mean, it's only Wednesday. You know what I mean? It's hump day. It's Wednesday. They got enough time to figure this out. I mean, it's a plane trip to another stadium. You know what I mean? They just say, well, listen, we'll reverse it. You know what I mean? We'll like, all right, say San Francisco was playing the Jets. Make it a Jets home game. We don't have that issue in New York. You know what I mean? Just make it a Jets home game, for this season because of the wildfires. And then when you're talking about Seattle, you just move that game too. Just move it from the West Coast to the East Coast. I mean, especially if it's going to be a hazard for the team. I mean, the NFL is supposed to be, They're supposed to be for the players now. You know what I mean? So we be looking out for the safety measures of the NFL because the NFL was getting a bad rap. So
see,
if
I
it's a
agree.
safety issue, then you got to move it.
I agree with everything you just said, except there's one problem. The NFLPA might say, you know what, it's not fair to the players because the players, you got to have so many home teams and so many away games. You know what I mean? They might kick up against it. Even though what you're saying is exactly right, because the player safety.
I mean, but we're going to talk about fairness, or we're going to talk about the safety of the players?
I agree with you. Talent, what do you think?
I feel the same way. I think because we're in a season with a crowdless game, what difference do it make? You're not moving.
Right.
You're not asking.
Wow, that's big.
You're not asking people to drive 12 more hours to another stadium or something like that. You're just moving cameras and players.
Right.
You know what I mean? So my thing is this: like, there's a million. This is America. There's a million football stadiums nearby to just go set up shop and bring that guy with that paint. That guy to put the name of your team on it. Bring that paint guy. That's your biggest concern. The Gatorade guy and the paint guy. You good.
Really do with the spray paint.
What they call it? Yo, I'm with Fig. Bring it to New York. We got plenty of these dudes.
Very good.
You play in New York, right? San Fran playing New York. You call Rembrandt and a couple of them dudes. You throw them on the team plane. You know what I mean? You get this guy out there a day early. A day early, this guy comes in. This is the new MVP.
Click.
Hilarious. Let me ask you this. Obviously, keep the conversation on before we bring my man Rodney Perry in. Got 3 more minutes to bring him in. San Francisco looks like they're going to lose Richard Sherman for the week because he looks like he's going to the injured reserve and everything else. Does that affect their game? Oh, you look like you're betting against the 49ers. Talent. Is that a concern?
Of course I am. They're playing the Jets, man. We need everything we can get. We need this guy. We need him to miss the week. We need a lot of stuff. So, of course, I think it's going to affect the game. You got to realize, I'll be honest with you. Other than the standout cornerbacks in the league, I think that's an underrated position. Other than when you stand out and you make it look real crazy, whatever, just in a general faction, that's one of the most important positions in the game of football. Especially going up against when a team has some dope receivers and a precision quarterback. Man, you better have your corners tight. So, and Richard Sherman, hats off to him, one of the best corners in the game. Hell yeah. I'll take it though as a Jet fan. Matter of fact, somebody give him some Benadryl. Let him sleep through 2 weeks.
All right. Before I even ask the next question, so you got the Jets this week? That's what I'm saying. You got the Jets this week over San Fran on your paper?
I think I'm gonna do it now that you said. I didn't know that until you mentioned that. I was gonna skip that game, but now that changes everything because we get points.
Talent.
If they moved it. Listen, Talent. If they moved the game to New York, you can take Jimmy Garoppolo to Sue's Rendezvous.
Hey Frank, you know what I'm gonna do it. You gotta realize on the sheet we're the underdog, so we already getting points. So we don't have to win. We just have to be in them points.
You can just cover.
All right, so Fig, you got the 49ers. The 49ers have placed Richard Sherman on injured reserve for his leg injury. What are you thinking about that game?
Hey man, listen. Listen. Honestly, I mean, look. I used to bet with my heart, but I'm not betting with my heart no more. Because if I had to put money on it, yeah, man, listen. San Francisco just came off a heartbreaking loss, and they were in the Super Bowl last year. I'm not taking the Jets over San Francisco. Are you out of your mind? I got San Francisco this year without Richard Sherman. I don't care. I don't care. They was just in the Super Bowl. I'm taking Jimmy, the porn guy Garoppolo over the Jets this year.
So you got to be out of your mind to take my team. You're very disrespectful. You got to be out of your mind to take the Jets in this situation, but you can wear yellow in front of that painting. Shame on you, man. Shame on you. Shame on Fig. Shame on you.
But with that being said, it's now time for us to bring in the man of the hour, Mr. Rodney Perry, with his segment called I Disagree. So, RP, what you thoughts?
Oh man, I'm in trouble.
Get on.
Yeah, good shirt, man. Good shirt, man. That's you're the best dressed, man, Rodney. Great job.
Shout out to my man C Dog watching on the on the feed, and Brandon Johnson.
Wow.
They've been tuning in for my segment. I told them to stay tight. They've been arguing about how wrong y'all was, and they can't wait. So I disagree. Let's jump right into it. The Heat versus Boston. Okay, let's start there. Adebayo blocked the light-skinned boy into oblivion. Okay, like he blocked his shot, a dunk, and the dunk was so vicious it almost broke his arm, but it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You got to respect that.
Yes.
It was the classic war, light skin versus dark skin, and
Yeah, it was.
skin won again.
It was.
With my own eyes. All right, let me get right into this. Somebody, I don't know who, one of y'all, it wasn't Frank and it wasn't Talent. Somebody said that the NBA should stop shooting threes. What?
Yeah, I said that.
Who haven't been watching basketball for the last 5 years? It's a new league. It's a new horizon. Ain't nobody in the post. Center shoot threes. The 5 shoot threes. The 4 shoot threes. The 2. Everybody shoot 3. Get used to it, Fig. Get used to it. I'm sick of it. One word for today's show: excuses. Y'all find a way to make an excuse for everybody that I wish I had a better word. That effed up. Everybody effed up. Oh, wait. It wasn't Kawhi's fault. Kawhi, is it Kawhi's fault? Yes. It's Kawhi's fault because his job is to be the superstar on his team, and he failed.
Yes.
See, you
I'm
know
with
what?
you, Rodney.
Say something. Let me tell you, shut your pothole, Fig. Tell y'all something. You cannot rely. First of all, everybody want to be special needs until you special needs. Now, Kawhi, I call him can't get right. See, all this strong, solid, all that's great when you win it. But when you losing, you just look retarded. I'm gonna just say it. But I'm gonna say one thing: it ain't Kawhi's fault. I blame Doc Rivers. I told y'all yesterday, Doc Rivers keep painting the scalp. It ain't gonna be working right. And you know what I'm doing? I'm doing as protest. I'm not using clippers no more. Sick of it. Getting rid of all my clippers. These 2 gone. Sick of it. All my clippers. I'm getting rid of them. All my clippers. I got clippers, and I'm not using them no more. All my clippers gone. I'm sick of it. And I got one of these little shavers too. Out of here.
Oh God. Oh God.
You know, he had 5 clippers for the five starting 5.
All of them gone. Let me tell you something. You want to buy some clippers? And y'all trying to worry about what's gonna happen to the Clippers next year? Nothing. Nothing about to get blew up. Doc Rivers gone. Kawhi Leonard gone. Paul George. Paul George is a loser. He's a loser. He been losing. He ain't just start losing. Fig never is right. But he said something right today. He said that Kawhi Leonard, when he was up there in Canada, he got lucky. I said that yesterday. He got lucky. He had the perfect storm, and it just worked out his favor. The Golden State Warriors was hobbled, and he didn't even play great then. Van Vliet came up, showed up, and the other little Al Lowry, they won those games. He just came through, he's lucky. Call him the best player. Oh, here go the other question. Is Kawhi Leonard no longer one of the best players in the world? He never was. He no LeBron James.
I agree.
LeBron James is a physical specimen.
Yeah, I agree.
LeBron James could single-handedly will a team to win. He make other people better. Can you say that about Kawhi Leonard?
Crickets.
That's only because my sound went out.
Don't get hype over the Nuggets. The Nuggets are still losers.
Ooh.
I said it. Rodney Perry said it. September 16th, Wednesday at 1:41. The Nuggets are still losers. They are victims of the Clipper jinx. And we trying to get some respect. First of all, I don't know what's that boy name with the little bob for the Denver.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
Who, Mike
Murray
Jr.?
Who?
Murray.
Yeah, Murray. He gets no respect till he get a better haircut. Murray gets zero respect till he get a better haircut.
Yo, this is terrible.
This is horrible.
I'm trying to tell you, man. You ain't got to believe me. Let me tell you what's about to happen. LeBron James gonna sweep Denver. They're gonna sweep Denver. Denver, they're excited. Everybody happy now. Everybody excited. The NBA gonna try to paint it like it's something. Guess what? Yeah. They gonna sweep Denver, and then they're gonna sweep the Miami Celtics. Whoever come out of that game, Miami or whoever, whatever team show up out of these, they're gonna sweep them too. Let's see. Oh,
wow.
Who brought up Millsap? Let you Fig?
Frank.
Was that? Hold on, Talon. Was that you?
No, that was Frank.
Millsap is gonna be gone.
First of all, Millsap's legs is rented. Millsap legs is like an Airbnb. You gotta take them legs back. Hey, Millsap had one game in that series where he played for like 9 minutes. He took himself out the game. Millsap was like, whoa. I did not sign up for this. He took his damn stuff out the game. All right. Armageddon is clearly upon us. The West Coast is on fire. Those games should be stopped. The NFL is greedy. Those games will not be stopped. You know it's Armageddon because the Clippers beat Denver. I mean, Denver beat the Clippers. Armageddon is upon us. Pray to Jesus right now. Just when I thought the show had took it to another level, somebody
had an exciting.
Somebody brings up the Jets. All right. I gotta be just in defense of my friend Talon. He didn't do it. Frank, you did it. You brought up the Jets, and then Talon was excited. He jumped right in there.
It's true.
The Jets.
I didn't know they were playing the Jets, so in all fairness,
it all worked out. Let's just keep it clear. No disrespect to the Jets, but the 49ers could beat the Jets if us four played. Fig gonna break fullback. Frank gonna play QB. You know, Frank can't even hardly see good.
There we go.
Blue 42. Okay, blue.
Oh, God.
Hey, all jokes aside, it's been a pleasure watching the show today. I love to see you guys arguing amongst yourselves. I believe it was at some point Talent pulled out a knife on Fig. I don't condone the violence, but it made me laugh.
Fig, I want to apologize, by the way, for that to Fig, because that's how Drew Frazier got kicked out of the New York Kings. I'm sorry,
Oh.
Fig.
So again, before I go, Fig, if you want to get some, I know you've been in your product. I'm gonna throw this in too, Fig.
Got the hair too.
This for anybody new to the show, this is Fig haircut product. And this is
Rodney gonna make me get a haircut, man.
Don't you do that. Your hair is wonderful.
Don't you do that.
Your hair is gorgeous, Fig. Rodney Perry talked about that wonderful coif.
Rodney Perry, thank you for being on the show, bro. We appreciate you.
I gotta go, man. You guys, hold on, wait. Tomorrow, wow. Tomorrow looks like Frank is gonna wear a plaid shirt. Call it like I see him.
Probably.
Never know.
I'm wearing my talent shirt tomorrow just because you said that.
Hey, I'm just looking. The future changes, so you just never know.
Rodney Perry, y'all. That's Rodney Perry.
Rodney.
Thanks, Rodney. We appreciate you. That's Rodney Perry.
Man.
He continue to move the show, or like always, my man Stack got to come in. Stack,
Stacking over.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, man? Did we get anything right or wrong, or where we at? What's your thoughts?
You know, other than some off analysis, but y'all couldn't get Boogie Cousins' name for the life of you. DeMarcus Cousins, the center on Golden State, and yeah, Kawhi did get lucky. I agree, he did get lucky last year, and but I won't say that he's not in the best player in the world conversation. But I do think last night was his fault because he gets credit for everything else. He was the third option on that Spurs team, and they gave him Finals MVP. You know what I mean? And then last year, he inherited a scrappy bunch, as you can see, because the Raptors was the number 2 seed this year without him.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Without him. And they was a game away from being in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Right.
So, and even last year with Kawhi, they had to hit a buzzer beater, to even make it. So, I get what you're saying, Fig, but I don't think he's overrated, But I told y'all, I said it. I said, if you can't do nothing with Jokic, you're gonna lose.
But here, Stack, let me ask you this. Do you think that Kawhi Leonard is on LeBron James level? That's the point. Not whether he's in the same tier. Should he be compared to LeBron? And I'm just saying, I'm not sure.
That was my question. Yeah.
I can't say no because he hasn't been in that situation. He's always had a good team around him. He's always had good coaching around him. LeBron hasn't always had that. So I'm just, you know what? I can't say no. I can't put him in the LeBron class. I think LeBron is in a class of his own. Kawhi Leonard has a lot more basketball to play before he can be considered in the LeBron conversation. But he has put together a nice 7-year career so far. He deserves every dime he made. He deserves all his accolades, but he also deserves all the credit for laying that egg last night. I think the Lakers going to have the same problem with old boy Murray. Murray is legit. He was dropping 50.
Thank you.
He was dropping 50 on Utah consistently. So they're going to have to deal with him. You need to give him the James Harden treatment. You got to treat him like a true perennial scorer in this league. And then you seen how Jokic dictated the whole flow of that game. Dude took 13 shots and it looked like his fingerprints was all over the win.
Yes,
so,
sir.
But this is why it comes back to the coaching. And Doc should have made the adjustment because they were trying to throw the double teams towards the Joker when he's a great passer and sees the floor.
Exactly.
So Murray was getting those passes and those other players. You need to throw the double teams to Murray and deal with him regular, but they kept throwing the double teams at the better floor general. Even though he's a big guy, he's a dope floor general, and that was a coaching error to me. At some point, you call that timeout, you adjust that, and then go with it. But they never did.
You never double team a
That's
passer.
what I was saying yesterday. I was like, listen, why not play the Joker one-on-one, let him get his, and then D up one of those other dudes and see if they can beat you.
Yeah.
But Sack just said the main thing. In basketball, you never double team the passer.
Here's a question for you all. Here's a question for you right now. And this is going to be something that I want you all to think about right now. Anthony Davis, when the season's over, he's technically a free agent. Is Anthony Davis, if the Lakers lose, I'm going to start with Stack, work my way around. Stack, if Lakers lose, does AD stay in LA? Or does he say, you know what, I don't think I'm going to like it here because I ain't like the way it worked out, and he's out? Stack, what you think?
I think AD stays.
Okay. Hey, what you think?
According to what Talent said, I would love to see AD in the Knicks uniform, but I'm going to tell you
why. My God.
I'm going to tell you why.
Oh,
I'm going to tell you why. Hold on. Let me tell you why.
Well, make it fast.
About the Knicks. Let me tell you why I think why I think he could leave. Even though his stats was the best on the Lakers, they gave all the credit to LeBron James. That's why I think he'll leave.
Talent, what you think?
New York, he's New York bound, win or lose, doesn't matter.
So you think he's gone regardless?
And you know what? The funny thing is when he comes to New York, you and Stacks are going to be throwing up that whole week. You're going to be so nauseated, so nauseous because you can't believe it. But if he was going to stay with the Lakers, he had an opportunity to do an extension. He didn't want to do an extension because he's leaving.
Okay.
The bubble guts. They're going to have the bubble guts.
Okay.
The bubble guts.
Name one big name
Buffalo girl go around the outside, Bubble guts.
Name what?
Name one big name player that when he got to the Knicks got better.
Hey guys, this just in. This just in. Wow, Talent, like you're onto something. AD is going to New York. He's going to the Jets.
Get him out.
Yo, that's about right.
I'm done.
He's going to the Jets.
Oh my God.
Win or lose, he's going to the Jets.
That was okay.
He said win or lose.
He says, and I quote, he's married and his wife is going to be on the Power on the new Power new book. And
I hate you. I swear I hate
you. I mean, this is not me. This is all just.
How do I end this, Frank? How do I?
This is just it. Frank, please take me out. I'm always surfing for new stuff, so I'll let you know if I get anything else.
Thanks for the update.
I ain't got time for this. Y'all go ahead. You can find me on Twitter at Instant Comedy, Talent the Comedian on Instagram, and I'm not even giving Facebook today because I don't want to hear from people that much. I'm appalled.
Fig, how we find
you? You find me right here on Talent's page on all social media platforms. I'm hanging out with Talent because you know he got
Thank
6
you,
pages.
Fig.
Yeah, or you can follow my page.
Comedian
right
Fig.
At Comedian Fig. That's where I usually am. Or if you really want to look for me, I'll be probably on Stacking Over's page.
There you go. There you go. Y'all can find Stacking Over on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything. Just at Stacking Over. You'll find me.
Tomorrow we're gonna have a surprise guest for you all. Looking forward to seeing who the surprise guest is gonna be. So we lock that in. You're watching Humor Mill TV. This is the show called The Box Seats. We're on every single day, Monday through Friday at 1, between 1 to 2. We got a surprise guest tomorrow. I'm Frank Holder. Download the Humor Mill app. Watch Humor Mill TV. Thank you to Rodney Perry for coming in. Thanks Stack. Thanks Fig. Thanks Talent. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Same bat time. Same bat channel.
You know.